100th episode of Tuesday Tips. It's been 2 years. It's been amazing. Thank you all for your subscribes and your likes and your supports. And I thought for this special 100th episode of Tuesday Tips, I would, and I don't have these memorized, so I have my notes, I would do the 100 best interview questions for any new team member. And so some of these are very practical, some of these are a little goofy and fun, but the 100 questions to ask for a volunteer or a new staff member or anyone joining your team. Classic of the genre, tell me about yourself. What are some of your strengths? What is a skill you'd like to improve? What are your hobbies? Are you more comfortable with a variety of tasks or a set routine? What are you currently reading or watching on TV? What is an accomplishment that you are really proud of? What do you do for work? What is your dream job? Do you prefer to work with a team or by yourself? How has your previous experience prepared you for this position? What other volunteer experience have you had? Or experience with volunteers if you're hiring staff members? Describe a time you faced a challenge and how you overcame it. How do you manage multiple priorities? Do you have any leadership experience? Describe a time you made a mistake and how you fixed it. What tasks are your favorite to complete? Tell me about a time you worked as part of a team. What has been your favorite part of being a volunteer anywhere in any time of your life? Tell me about a time you implemented feedback. What do you know about our organization? Why do you want to work with us? What about our work and mission resonates the most with you? How did you hear about our programs and volunteer opportunities or staff positions? Why are you interested in this role or position? When can you start? How much time do you plan to spend with our organization every week? And this is more applicable to volunteers than a hired position, but you get the gist. What team or department would you prefer to work with? How do you imagine a typical day volunteering in our organization? How long do you plan on volunteering with us? Describe your favorite childhood memory. What do you like to do in your free time? What brings you joy? What kinds of things do you find challenging to do but you'd like to improve upon? What is the first thing you would do if you were to win the lottery? What are your personal heroes, sheroes, theyros, and why? What is your favorite movie? Do you subscribe to any good online journals or magazines? Which ones? If you could travel anywhere in the world safely right now, where would you go? Are you happier with remote work or doing things in person? Describe the difference between exceptional and good. What is your level of access or comfort with the internet and technology? How would you feel about being more skilled or knowledgeable than your supervisor? How do you feel about hearing no? Do you think leaders should be liked, respected, or feared? In your opinion, what makes a good leader? What qualities make a bad leader? What has been your greatest accomplishment? What will you miss most about your previous job or volunteer role? Why did you choose to study the subject or get a degree in or major in? And this can, apply depending on whether or not someone has different levels of education. 51, getting into the 50s now. What is the most valuable thing that you have ever learned? Tell me, if you had one wish, what would you change in the world? Are you concerned with any aspect of this role? Who has had the biggest impact on your life or career? If you could only choose 5 words to describe your character, what would they be? What are your favorite foods? This is kind of important if you want to do kosher or halal or have food allergies and things to stock up for, like meal breaks, snack room, stuff like that if you're working in person. That's kind of my secret to number 56. What are your favorite foods? What are 3 positive qualities that you possess? How would your best friend describe you? What do you hope to achieve and become? Tell me about your lifelong aspirations. What do you enjoy doing in your downtime? Describe a moment in your life that you are most proud of. What personality types do you work well with and why? Is there someone that changed or altered your career path, for better or for worse? Have you had a favorite supervisor? Why were they your favorite? Kind of like a 2-for-1 for that one on number 65. Do you see yourself as a detail-oriented person or a big picture person? What tools and strategies do you use to stay organized? Like notes. Give me an example of a solution you developed or implemented in your work or previous volunteer role. Do you prefer an entrepreneurial or more structured organizational culture? Describe your perfect work environment. What is your work style? If you had the power to choose any superpower, question number 72, what would you choose and why? That's a favorite. I know Toby Johnson's really going to like that one. 73, what is your favorite way to learn new things? 74, classic creative question. What animal would you want to be and why? 75, describe 10 different uses for a pen other than writing. So we're getting into kind of a little more abstract, goofy, creative thinking questions here. If your previous supervisor were to recommend any additional training for you, what would they suggest? If you joined our team, what kinds of goals would you initially have? What are your plans for professional growth this year? And how can I support them? Bonus question for number 79. Question 80, tell me about the most difficult decision you have had to make recently and how did you reach that decision? 81, have you ever been given an assignment that was too difficult for you? What was your solution? Tell me about an instance when you had to deal with conflict in the workplace. Give me an example of a time when you made a mistake at work and how you handled it. How would you handle a situation where you were required to complete multiple tasks by the end of the day, but it would be impossible to finish all of them? Kind of ties into the other prioritizing time question, but a little bit more specific. And number 85, question 85, if you discovered that your company was doing something illegal, like fraud, what would you do? Good ethics question there. What would you do if your supervisor asked you to do something that you don't agree with? What is your strategy for working with people who annoy you? Tell me about a time that you failed and what did you learn from it? How do you approach giving someone difficult feedback? Have you ever been a part of a team where there is a member not doing their part and how did you react? Number 91, describe a time when your work or performance was criticized and how that felt. Tell me about a time when you went above and beyond what was expected of you in a job or work or task. Tell me about the last project that you led and what was the final result. Give me an example of a time that you showed exceptional leadership. Number 95, how do you manage stress? That's the question on everybody's mind right now. What are you most looking forward to in this role? Question 97 is very specifically for the benefit of Mr. Rob Jackson. Star Trek or Star Wars? 98, how do you like to be recognized or rewarded for achievements? Question 99, is there anything you'd like to share that we haven't covered yet? And the most important question out of all of these, question number 100, do you have any questions for me? That is true of any kind of interview you're doing, entrance or exit, onboarding or leave of absence, or leaving an organization completely. And that's also the question that I'll leave you with. Do you have any other questions for me? And do you have any other Tuesday tips, topics, ideas, or wisdom of your own to share? Let me know in the comments below, and you can always reach me at danalitwinconsulting.com. I'm happy to interact with you and see where the conversation goes. Please enjoy many more years of this channel and the next 100 episodes of Tuesday Tips. Thank you so much.